How you guys doing today? This is Dirty36, or I can go by Lewis, whichever one. It's gonna be my very first YouTube video. I've been talking about doing YouTube for what seems like forever now. I'm try and be as unawkward as possible. I'm pretty fucking awkward, excuse my language, but yeah. This is a little quick introduction, I guess. This is my E90 M3. I've owned this thing for, I want to say, less than a month. I just got it. I didn't have anything done to it. I did run into the throttle actuator issue. Dealership sold it to me, but the signs were already there. They weren't disclosed to me, and I had it shipped over here. So it's currently what's getting fixed right now. But so far, I've done the red end button, red start button, just like little basic stuff. As you can see right here, I already got all this opened up. So I did figure out this throttle actuator had already been replaced. So I ended up tossing. I was gonna order both of them, but this one was already swapped out last year. At least by the date on it, I assume it was last year or so. The other one was original, so I have a new one coming in for that. Got all this stuff pulled off. Pardon the mess in here. Today I'm gonna be installing the HR spring strip lower at about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. I typically do coilovers or bags, but just I'm not dumping so much money into this thing like I have previously with that car over there. I'm just gonna do springs for now and then coils down the road. So yeah, and then over here we got my E36 M3. So you can see it's on jack stands. Car has a high tendency of being on jack stands. Just a little, I guess some info on it is, but just essentially everything on this car has been touched for the most part, besides the motor itself, besides the full bolt-ons and whatnot. But it does have Fitment Lab Phase 2 over fenders that are molded and blended on, so in person it does look factory. It's kind of hard to tell unless like you know exactly what it is you're looking at. It's wrapped in it knows it's like dandelion metallic. Got carbon parts almost all the way around, and then let's move some stuff out the way. But got delete panels everywhere, wrapped in suede. Same thing over here, carbon, a K-shifter, seats, auto power cage, and then got the rear seat delete. Yeah, we got the works bell, Vertex wheel, straight piped, RK tuned, M50 manifold, and it has essentially everything you can have. That's full bolt-ons. If you guys ever want like a real like rundown on this car, I'd be more than glad to share that. Typically the car does sit on these Workmeisters I got here. I did wait 14 months for these things, but probably ran them on the car for all like maybe 200 miles because I did have an animal just chew through one of my brake lines, which is why it's on jack stands right now. But I'm also selling this vehicle also. Not for any particular reason, but just to avoid having too many pits. I did have this. I did have a manual 5-speed i300. I did a bunch of stuff too. But I would like to like really just focus on one car, and the E90 has priority, to be honest, because it is a daily and everything. And then I also have a Honda Pilot to tow the kids around. But yeah, this is probably like, I don't know, I love this thing. Even with like the little issue I ran into, which not really anything, just throttle actuator. I'm already in the process of replacing that, but I do love this thing. But yeah, so yeah, main goal today is gonna be the springs. Trying to stay on topic. But I'm gonna try and get this stuff on. I'll record as I go and whatnot. Yeah. Alright, so I went ahead and I'm not too familiar with this car yet, but I'm pretty positive this is for the EDC. Don't take my word for that though. I'm pretty positive that's the EDC or some shit. So yeah, got those off. I already loosened all the wheels all around. I'm probably gonna start off with the rear first. Get going on those. So originally I bought these because I did test fit the Workmeisters on this car and I was planning on like fully running them, but I don't want to have to run a spacer with them because they do hit the calipers. So, but I'm gonna put these on anyways. I already got them. But yeah. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get the car jacked up. I jack it up preferably from the rear, and just since I got the space for it, just jack it up from the diff back there. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start doing that, and then remove the wheels. Pretty self-explanatory, just 17mm bolts. All right, so as you can see, wheels are off. Got the jack stands on the sides. The sides off also. You got the strut. We got the stock spring right there that's gonna come out. And then I personally always keep a jack on the car also as this extra support. But yeah, and again, what we're gonna do today is just install the rears, and then we're gonna proceed to do the fronts after. But it should, like I said, should give it like a 1.5 to 2 inch drop according to the description. But I got these off SCP Euro, not sponsored or anything by them, but I personally always buy my stuff from them. They always have like lifetime warranties for everything, and I've never had an issue with them. So yeah, so let's get started. Alright, so obviously got the spring out on one side. So all you really got to do is you got the carrier bolt right here, goes right here. You got the strut bolt, self-explanatory, goes right through the strut. And then we got also to remove this one for the carrier bolt, I just use an adjustable wrench, put it on the opposite side, hold it, and then I used a 13th, 16th, and got that right off. And then I used the 18mm for the strut bolt. And then right here we got the, so this for this right here, this little bracket, it's holding it in. So it goes right under here. So sorry if this camera's not straight, but there'll be a 10mm right here, and then there's a 10mm nut up top. I just stuck a wrench up from top, and then it came off fairly easy. Yeah. But yeah, and then from there, all I did was kind of just push down on this, on the camber arm, and then yeah, just kind of pried it out of there. So it really wasn't difficult at all. But yeah, that's the update. I'll go ahead and start putting this back together with the lowering spring, and then I'll repeat the same exact process I just did here. Literally exactly the same thing I did right here. I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, and then from there I'll just make sure everything's tightened up good and whatnot, and then let's lower the car. We'll put the wheels on, lower the vehicle, and then proceed to start doing the fronts. Alright, so I got that step done. The rears. Now we're gonna drop this car, and then let you know what difference I see. Hoping this jack isn't an issue sliding out. Still clears for now, hopefully. So we got, it was a decent drop. Got rid of most of the wheel gap. It's literally just like good enough for the stocks, I guess. So that's good. And obviously it still has to settle a little bit. And on this side, I got about the same exact result. So that's good. And now we gotta do the fronts. And then I just saw the FedEx truck pass, and they should have my GT4 front lip. Might install that also today. Not too sure on that yet, but we'll see. But this side I did have an issue with like putting the carrier bolt in, so it took me, so I had to like unbolt everything again and redo it. On the other side I had zero issues, so I think I probably took about like maybe like 12 minutes, if that, just doing this side. So it was pretty quick on that side. But yeah, so Gonna repeat the same process. Just gonna jack up the front. Well, loosen up the front wheels, jack up the front, jack stands on both sides, and then I'll update you guys from there. Alright, so I got the wheels off. It's honestly been like about 2 hours. I've been super distracted and lazy. But up here we got 14 mils. I'm not gonna take these off just yet. Alright. So I want to remove these. So I'm gonna worry about them getting pinched and whatnot. They're just moved out the way. There's a 16 mil right here. And then, so the way I'm gonna go about it is, so I'll say remove these, remove this, and then I'm gonna get the jack, lift this up with just a little bit, compress the spring. So it should be a little easier. What I'm gonna do is just compress the spring, and then I'll put on the, I completely forgot the name of this, but these, you should know what these are. I'm gonna do that. This one should be easier. So the jack's basically just compressing it for me. It makes life a whole lot easier. And then what I'm gonna do after that, once the spring's compressed, I'm gonna drop the jack, and then I'm not gonna drop the jack yet. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna break this bolt off, loosen it up, take it off, and then from there, once that's off, these top hat bolts come off, and then I just lower it, and then literally just take off the spring and then whatnot. But I'm doing everything while it's on the car. I'm not gonna remove everything completely. Just this whole assembly's gonna drop down, and then I'm just gonna force it down, and then it's gonna come out straight. So that's what I'm gonna go about it, and I'll update you guys again. All right, so as you can see, springs out, strut and everything's still in place. Exactly what I said I was gonna do, just those lines, the 16 mil for the sway bar, and then up here I recalled, I'm pretty sure I said these are 14s. They're actually 13s for the top hats, and then for the strut bolt is, I want to say it was 22. Yes, 22. But yeah, so now I'm just gonna obviously grab the new spring, lowering spring on it. Straighten this out a little bit. Yeah, grab the spring, put it on. Same process, just reversing everything again. And that'll be the same exact thing, vice versa for the other side. Alright, so everything's done. Yeah, I'm not gonna put the wheels and stuff on just yet because actually, yeah, I'll put this on and then I'll start recording. I was gonna keep it up in the air and then do the GT4 front lip, but I'm just gonna hold off on the lip and then do that this weekend because I'm honestly not really in the mood to do that right now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the wheels on and then I'll drop it and I'll be back. Alright, so I lowered it a good chunk. Obviously it still needs to settle too, but it's a lot better than what it was. Again, I'll get coiled at some point, but honestly with me just getting this car, I'm just trying to avoid just dumping a massive amount of money, which I have a high tendency to do. I'll see how long I can keep this thing stocked. I'm active duty, so we are due for our rotation soon, so I'm not trying to do so much things right before then. And then I do have someone coming, there's about 2 people coming this weekend to take a look at this card, potentially purchase it, because I'm also trying to get rid of it. I love this thing. It's honestly hands down like my favorite car I've ever owned. It's the longest car I've ever owned. I've owned it for 3 years. Typically I own a car for maybe a year and I swap out, but I can't justify keeping it. I don't have to get rid of it, but I can't justify keeping it with, I've literally owned it for 3 years. I've put maybe 6,000 miles on it since then, and like 3,000 of those miles were when I first purchased it. So, and like that was like within like that week period where I drove it from Kissimmee, Florida, drove to San Antonio, then I drove it to El Paso, and then I drove all the way down to Phoenix, and then back to El Paso. So most of those miles were literally from that trip, which is pretty sad. And then I was gone during deployment for about 12 months. So wasn't getting driven during then, and then I came back and then I wanted to do all this stuff to it. The car when I first originally bought it was all stock. Yeah. Overall, it looks great. I can't drive it yet, obviously, because I'm still waiting on throttle actuators. Those should come in tomorrow, so I'll get the car back on the road tomorrow if those come in. I did pay for 2-day shipping, so hopefully those come in tomorrow. And yeah, I can give you guys a review on them, I guess. But from what I've seen, what I've heard from like reviews and whatnot, these are probably the best ones I've seen. So yeah. But yeah, I hope I wasn't too awkward and whatnot, and got some enjoyment out of the video. You guys have any pointers or any improvements or whatever the case may be? I'm open to suggestions on anything at all. If you guys want to see things done to this one, I don't think this thing's actually gonna sell this weekend. We're not having a ton of tire kickers, and also I still gotta put the wheels on it. But yeah, if you guys want to see content on this, yeah, like I said, I'm open to anything. Yeah, peace out.